trying to be positive and not complain, because I realize I've been complaining in my head. Right before I press record, there's like a whole list of things that I know I have to do that keeps running in my mind. But what happens when I keep on replaying the list of the things I have to do is then I just get stuck in a state of paralysis where I don't get anything accomplished because I'm overwhelmed by thinking of all the things I want to do. And I have been doing small tasks. So when I complete the small tasks, it builds up the momentum. It makes me feel good about myself because I completed the small task. But I don't know, like I'm about to eat my breakfast and then see if I have energy and what do I feel like doing, because lately, since the pandemic started, I've just developed this like state of paralysis when it comes to like anything that feels overwhelming. Like the world feels like unsafe, like everything feels like it's too much, like nothing feels normal. And I guess what can be normal, and I don't know if I'm having a hard time adjusting to change, but I do notice like ever since the pandemic started, like outside is different, society is different. It kind of reminds me of like New York post 9/11. Like everyone was just like nicer, and it wasn't the norm. So it kind of was like it, like that change puts you on edge, and that's how I feel about the pandemic. Like I don't really believe that we'll ever get to a point where it's gonna be okay. Well, maybe not for me, maybe for the younger kids, because children are more resilient so they can adapt. But it's just, I'm having a hard time, and I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, like I've been trying to give myself grace and give people grace around me, but I'm noticing like it's hard for me to do things that I normally found pleasure in. And it's not that I'm depressed. I know it's not depression because I've been depressed before and I can tell the difference, but it's more like neurodivergent symptoms. And I don't know if it's just because like the algorithm pushes certain information on you and then it convinces you that may be your affliction. Because if you're like, if you see something that's red 10 times in a row, all of a sudden you're going to notice red everywhere. And I do notice like when you go online, you do see a lot of information nowadays about is a couple of topics that's being pushed: narcissism, dating and dating standards, ADHD, like poverty, socioeconomic issues, recession, and they just keep on playing over and over and over again. So it's a little bit overwhelming, and I am trying to find the proper space to get back into so that I could just relax. That, and I do notice because I'm in my 30s, there's just a certain insight that comes along with being in your 30s. There's a certain understanding about how the world works, how people works, patterns of behavior. So things that I would normally excuse away in my 20s, or like I would experience cognitive dissonance, I don't now because I know better. So when I see things the first time, I know exactly what it is and I act accordingly. And that is a little bit depressing because in your 20s, you have that ignorance to have hope and believe that something is going to change, or there's a chance that things may be different. But in your 30s, it's like you kind of take things for face value, and it's a little bit depressing taking things for face value all the time. It's a little bit more difficult to have hope. Like I know that there's possibilities and there's outcomes, but I really live life based on the probabilities, and there's just certain things like I'm not willing to take risk the same way I used to when I was younger. And that's a little bit more depressing. Interacting with people are a little bit more depressing. Like you see people's true colors up front now at this age, where you can't justify or excuse it away. Like if you see a fish, that's a fish. Fish swim. If you see a duck, ducks quack. Like, it's no, oh, that's a duck, but the duck could be a parrot. Like, there's none of that. Like, it is what it is. And a part of that makes it depressing when it comes time to make new friends, have new experiences. You're more aware of the world. You're more aware of your mortality. And it's just a different experience. Like, I'm thankful that I've lived to this age, because I know people who have passed away younger than I have, and they never had the opportunity to make it to this age. So I'm grateful that I've made it to this age. I'm grateful for the friends I have, my family who's supportive, and all the support system that I have in place, and I had the pleasure of benefiting from. However, it's just I don't know, like, especially like with monkeypox, like, it's like one thing after the other. It was different. Like, okay, COVID, okay, but now it's like another one, and then what if after this one there's another one? I don't know. It's just, I need a vacation. Like, I really do. But I'm even scared of going on vacation. And I think it's that fear. Like, I'm trying not to let fear hold me back, but at the same time, it's just like, the reality of things is there is a possibility, and what's the worst case scenario? I'm just trying to take it one day at a time. If you want to save some money, buy these leg quarters in the supermarket. Every supermarket has them, because it's a thigh and the drumstick connected with each other. And it's unclean, so you have to do a lot of work cleaning. So the only downside with these is, like, they have a lot of fat on them. But one pack of chicken in the supermarket is about $8-9. You can get this entire package for $8. So the leg quarters are $7.99, and there was a $1 markdown. So you can get this entire bag for $8. If you're a single person, which means you're probably eating only 2 pieces a day, you could get at least 8 to 10 servings out of these, depending on how you proportion your meals. If you're a family of 4 to 5, you have at least 4 servings in here. So these are the 3 bags that I made out of the big pouch of quarters. This is the 4th. This is all drumsticks. It's going to be fried tomorrow. These are seasoned, so I'm going to put them in the freezer, and every night or in the morning when I go to work, I'm going to take it out so I could defrost, and then I could just throw it in a pot and cook it. It's already seasoned. It already has vegetables in it. It has onions, scallions, a red pepper in there. And when I'm getting ready to cook, I might just cut up some fresher onions and garlic, or depends on what I'm making, whatever additions need to be in there. But I just gave it like a basic seasoning. Matter of fact, I think I have some a bottle of green seasoning that I'm gonna pour in here just to make it like a little marinade in it. It is gonna get frozen, but as it defrosts, it gets very liquidy. So like all the moisture from the chicken usually comes out, and it kind of drains some of the seasoning. So I like to just season it more than is required. So then when it melts and it defrosts and the water washes away the seasoning, if it's over seasoned, it will just bring it back to even equilibrium of seasonings, and it won't be too salty. Didn't even ask me